or Canada, obviously. So I think you're on the right track. You've decided you want to do an MBA. Now you have to take a look at what type of program. And perhaps I'll ask Alwyn to describe the decisions that he went through in deciding whether to do a 2-year program or a 1-year program.
I'd like to take a shot at the previous question as well, as to what you need to do.
Speak up.
Can you hear me? Yeah. I'd like to take a shot at the previous question as well, as to what you probably should be looking at an MBA degree. Most of you, if you've done your undergrad degree, I'm not sure how much of a choice you had in that subject, in that area. There might have been a lot of parental pressure. How many of you decided on your undergrad degree because your parents told you to? Can I have a show of hands, please? Okay, that's not bad. Looks like quite a lot of you are self-aware. Now, when you're going to get into your master's degree in business, now is an extremely good chance for you to be fairly thoughtful about how you'd like to spend 1 or 2 years of your life, and this decision probably will stay with you for the rest of your life. I don't think there are too many people here who would like to do an MBA again and again. It's a fairly painful process, if you ask me. 2 years of not being able to sleep as much, or basically you become a slave to the school, right? So while you are looking for an MBA degree, keep in mind that now is a really good time to decide and understand why you really want to do this. So 1, research extremely carefully. Take a look at your life goals and spend quite a bit of time understanding if the degree is actually going to be of any help to you now, or will it be more relevant to you 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, and maybe never relevant at all in the first place. Research the schools extremely carefully. These are the people you're going to be spending 2 years of your life with. Be extremely selfish about the people you're going to be working with. Right? Take a look at the school alumni. Take a look at their school alumni networks. Does it extend back into India? Does it extend into Europe? Does it extend into the US? And how deep does it extend into? So these are some of the key criteria I would actually take a look at before joining the business. In terms of my decision process, I was pretty clear that I wanted to do a 2-year MBA. And the reason was that I wanted to experience it completely. For me, I could actually think at some point that, for me, I was running a business before business school, and it was not too tough for me to think that, I could probably do this 1-year program from INSEAD or somewhere else and come back. But I actually wanted to go through the entire grind. I wanted to be in the US. I wanted to attend one of the best possible colleges I could take a shot at, and what happened. And hopefully, all of you, take a shot at the best possible education you can, and I think that is what would probably make sense for you in the long run. Thanks.
Nelson, 1 year or 2 year? What do you think?
Really depends nowadays, because in our school we don't have 1-year program. We got a 1.5-year general MBA program, and that is 12 subjects. It is common anywhere in Australia. And as you all know that there are migration requirements in Australia. If you want to stay in Australia, you need to do a 2-year program, and that's why we have created something called MBA Advanced. So I think it is different. The normal MBA, it really depends on what you do within that MBA. People can, we have executive MBA 1 year, but it is only for domestic students, so it doesn't matter whether it is 1 year or 2 year, but make sure that you have done your research and decide where you want to be and what you are going to get out of that your investment.
Good. Bhupesh, 1 or 2 year?
My advice will be a little bit biased based on my experience, but I'll try to be partial. So it all depends on the school and of course what is your choice. Whether can you afford 2 years or you're in a hurry and you want to finish 1 year. Typically, like at our school, like telecom management, if we talk about telecom management, we entertain primarily engineers, those who have studied telecommunication. So in our opinion, 2 years was irrelevant because they have already done a lot of study previously. Similarly, like for 1 year MBA program is designed for candidates having say average 7 to 8 years experience. And they don't have much time to you spend like 2 years, and opportunity cost is too high. So, in my opinion, of course, 1 year is good, but again, it's your choice.
In Europe, the one-year program is pretty much the norm, and there's some good reasons for that.
First of all, the question to me personally is I did 1.5 years, which is I think a nice compromise, but that's not an answer to the question. We have a one-year program, and like you said, it's more or less the norm, and for us it's also a selling point because also in these financial times, both decisions are fine, don't get me wrong, but people don't want to run the risk and also the cost of the 2 years, so to have a very intensive one-year program suits many people very well, and that's what we offer and that's what we believe in.
At the Robin School, I mentioned previously, our program is a 2-year program, but it's 8 months of study, and then a 4-month internship, and then 8 months of study. So in effect, it's over 2 years, but it takes 20 months. I think one of the advantages of a 2-year program is you have to ask yourself, can you fit the same amount of study in 1 year as you could over 2? The top schools in the world, the Whartons, the Harvards, are still at a 2-year program. That's one of the reasons why we've left our program at 2 years. As well, students appreciate the opportunity to get some work experience in Canada over that 4-month period, both from an experiential point of view and from a financial perspective, because the salaries are good, and that helps you in terms of covering the cost, which we'll get to in a few moments. It is a significant investment that you're making. That's why, as the panelists have pointed out, it's such a major decision. You have to decide one of the reasons why you want to do it, when is it appropriate for you to do it, and what's that return on investment for you. Okay? So, the next question, and I'm going to go back to Alwyn. Are rankings important? Now, maybe it isn't fair to ask Alwyn, since he went to the #1 school in the world. But we will ask. Was that important in your decision?
Yes. I think
Okay,
that's part of the decision.
No, I think, I think it's important for some of the schools that may not be ranked right now. You have to differentiate yourself, obviously, and I'll come back with another answer in a moment, but you did go to the #1 school, and that, certainly from a recruiter point of view, that is very